Hello, I'm Mr. Argorakis, second in Creative Arts and Head of Music here at Heathcote School. Myself and Miss Argorakis will be teaching the course. I'm going to go over the outline for the course beyond Key Stage 4 and any possible career opportunities. So at the top here we have one performance on the learner's chosen instrument. This can be in any style and of the learner's choice. For example, you could choose a piece of classical music and a piece of pop music. It really doesn't matter, as long as the piece meets the difficulty criteria and lasts up to 2 minutes. We then have one composition chosen by the learner, so this is again in any style of music that you'd like. Most pupils choose to write theirs in a pop style and include some modern techniques on programs such as GarageBand or Logic. We then have one ensemble performance. This is a group piece, so any more than 2. As long as the part isn't doubled, it's fine. So as long as the piano doesn't play the same part as the singer, for example. We then have one composition to a board set brief. So this is like a stimulus given by the exam board. So for example, it might be that you get given a set of notes that you have to start with. A lot of singers choose a set of lyrics. Some guitarists choose a set of chords. It really depends on the chosen stimulus that you want to use. We then have a listening exam with an audio CD with 4 different areas of study. So we have, first and foremost, conventions of pop music. We also have rhythms of the world. We have film music, and we have the concerto through time as well. So this is the performance and composition start. We then have to actually use that as an impetus to then inform some of your theory as well. So all the techniques that you would use when you're performing and composing can be then incorporated into your theory work. We then have the concerto through time, so you have 4 different types of concerto: the solo from the Baroque era, the Baroque concerto grosso, the classical concerto and the romantic concerto. Each of these have very different features, and we would go through those throughout the 2 years. We then have rhythms of the world, so you'll be studying music from India, in the Punjab region specifically, traditional Eastern Mediterranean and Eastern folk rhythms, traditional African drumming, Central and South American calypso and samba. Film music, this one is a bit of a tricky one to actually put an overview on, because you actually need to study all of the different musical elements together and write about it chronologically as you hear it. But there is also video music in there as well for video games, which really tries to look at how music has developed over time with technology and the use of that within film soundtracks and game soundtracks. We then have conventions of pop. So rock and roll from the 1950s and 60s, rock anthems from the 70s and 80s, pop ballads of the 70s, 80s and 90s, and then solo artists from the 90s to the present day, and how that's changed over time. Each of these would represent different parts of music from all over the world and different time periods, and at random these will be chosen for the exam at the end of the year. In terms of possible career opportunities, it could be anything from working in the music industry as a record producer, from a composer to an arranger to a performer, or it could be something completely different, like working on the radio or using your voice for recordings and all of those performance techniques that you might want to use. You don't necessarily have to go into doing A-level music after you finish the GCSE course. There are other options available, such as BTEC or other equivalents. But at Heathcote we do offer Key Stage 5 A-level music, and we'd love to see as many of you going on from GCSE to do that as possible. Thank you very much.